All right, let's go. Listen up, please. Distance varies directly as time. How do I write that? Distance varies directly as time, right? Multiplication. Don't forget the K value, the constant of variation. All right? Then it says because as time increases, the distance traveled increases proportionally. But the first, what's that? First 5 words, distance varies directly as time. As time, you should be able to write what I wrote. Okay? Sound travels 10,050 feet in 30 seconds. So I substitute the distance, 10,050, and the time, 30, and I solve for K. So you divide both sides by 30, and you get K is 335. All right? So that's how many feet per second the sound would travel. How long will it take for the sound to travel 11,725 feet? So the second part, your distance, your constant, and you're looking for the time this time. Right, so make sure you do part 2 of it. Divide by 335. And it takes 35. That's seconds. Okay, so 2 parts to it. First part, setting up the equation. Don't forget the K value, the constant of variation when you see that varies word. And then part 2, after you figure out the K, solve the problem. So make sure you do both parts. Number 2, the volume of a cylinder varies jointly. So volume V varies equals K. Jointly means there's at least 2 things that I'm going to multiply after that K. As the height H and the radius squared. So that's the formula for the volume of a cylinder. It tells us the volume's 157. When the height H is 2 and the radius squared is 25. Okay, so 2 times 25 is 50. So I'm going to divide both sides by 50 to figure out my K value, which I got 3.14. So what is our constant then? Yeah. So that's the actual formula for volume of a cylinder is pi times H times R squared. All right. Part 2 of this, find the volume, find V when, and I'm going to use 3.14 for my K, when H is 3 and R squared is 36. So I just have to multiply those 3 numbers together to find the answer, which is 339.12. It asks to the nearest 100. And that would be, if you had put the units, is cubic centimeters. All right, so again, 2 parts. First part, solving for K. And then the second part, answering the problem. Any questions on 1 or 2? Simple, right? All right, 3 and 4 are rational expressions that we have to simplify. Okay, and we have to write the restrictions. All right, so there's two parts: simplify it, and then write what the variable is not allowed to be. So what we're supposed to do is factor everything we can to start. Okay, so I have 4y cubed minus 8y over y squared minus 2y. Alright, so the first thing we do when we factor is look for GCFs, and there is a GCF in the top and the bottom. So what's the top GCF? 4y. Okay, then there should be two terms in my parentheses because there's two terms to start with. What's 4y cubed divided by 4y? Y squared. What's negative 8y divided by 4y? Negative 2, right? What's the GCF for the bottom binomial? Y. And then I'll have two terms again because there's two terms I started with. Y squared divided by y is y. And negative 2y divided by y is negative 2. Now, it would have been nice if this bottom was y squared minus 2 or the top was y minus 2. They're not exactly the same, are they? So I can't factor or cancel those. Okay? You cannot cancel anything there. But if you look out front to these two factors, there's a y in both. Those two y's I can cancel because they're factors. Right? So, some kids think they can cancel these two, but they're not exactly the same, so you cannot do that. So, all I can write then is 4 up top and y squared minus 2 and y minus 2 in the bottom. Don't forget about this part. And this is for the original part. So look at where you have it factored. So what is that not allowed to be? This one here, 0. What's this one not allowed to be? 2. So that's the whole answer right there. Make sure you do both parts. Okay, Trent? Did you get that one right? Better check. Any questions? How we get 0? You're just thinking what number makes that 0? The only number that makes it 0 is 0, right? Remember, a variable is representing a number. That's what those are. So it can never be 0 because 0 times whatever would be 0, right? So you always don't look at this part for your restrictions. Look at the original denominator after you have it factored. Any other questions on number 3? Okay, number 4. A lot of you didn't really do much for this one. What's going on here? You should have a clue.
I guess it'll be factor somewhere.
Okay.
Put in the right order.
Yeah, first of all, put in the right order that top one, right? Which would be negative x squared So minus 3x plus 10. Okay. What else is messed up? The negative x squared, right? We don't like it. We like it like the bottom, right? We like it positive x squared. So what we're going to do is factor out that negative 1. So that makes my 3x positive and my 10 negative when I factor out the negative 1. And every year I get kids that remember that. They do everything right, and then when they write their answer, they forget that they pulled that out. But don't forget that that's part of my answer, that negative 1 in front. Okay? So, Alex, what's the top factor? Just look at this part in here. What factors of negative 10 add up to positive 3? Thanks. So it's x plus 5 and x minus 2. Any questions on that? Colai, go ahead and factor the bottom.
All right, we got X. No. We got X, and something has to add up to -8, right?
Not add up to negative 8.
To
Multiply to
multiply to
negative 8.
-8. And give, add to equal 2, right?
Negative 2, yeah.
We go
Or
4,
positive 2, yeah.
is it 4 and -2?
Yeah. Like I told you last week, every one of you in here should be able to factor a trinomial. Do you see any factors that you can cancel? Yeah, the x minus 2, right? All right, so our answer then is -1 x plus 5 over x plus 4. And x is not allowed to equal what, Andrew?
I have no idea. I don't understand that.
Why didn't you ask me here then when I said, are there any questions? I don't know either. How are you gonna learn if you don't ask?
I'll watch.
You'll watch.
Yeah.
Did you not watch on the last one?
No, I watched. I just didn't get it. Maybe I will this time.
Maybe you will.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
Cole, help him out.
I can't. I don't know. 4 and 5. -4, -5.
No, we're looking at the bottom.
Oh,
So the first number you were correct.
I was?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, +2?
Yeah. Explain to Andrew how he got those numbers.
I don't know.
What is the denominator not allowed to equal?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know that, right?
Okay, yeah, now I got
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
No.
now the light bulb went on.
it. When you said it came from the zero, I got it.
2%. All right? You are not allowed to have a 0 in the denominator. So you ask yourself, what number do I put in place of x to make that equal 0? And that's what it's not allowed to eat. I don't think that's very hard.
I don't know.
It's not, is it? Juniors, it's not hard, is it? No, it's hard for sophomores, but not juniors, I guess.
Yeah.
Really isn't that hard for them.
Easy, Andrew.
Coli.
So,
At least they had a clue how to start it.
I had a clue.
You told me, did he not? People say he has no
It
clue.
took me a while, but I got it. Carter didn't even try.
I got it now, though.
Easier one. Danny, shut up. You don't even
What's different about this one than the last two? There's no addition or subtraction, so what's that mean? You can, well, it's already factored, yeah, so you can just do what? You can cancel stuff out, yeah. Do we have to worry about restrictions? No. Okay, so let's look at the numbers. Look at 5. Is there a common factor with 5 and 6?
No.
No. How about 5 and 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
D4.
5 and 10. What's the common factor? 5. Wow. What's 5 divided by 5? 1. What's 10 divided by 5? 2. Oh, now we're waking up.
Yeah, sir. Danny, don't talk to me.
What about the 6 and the 9? Do they have a common factor?
Yes.
3, right? What's
Yeah.
6 divided by 3?
2.
2. What's 9 divided by 3?
3.
3. Okay? So up top, I got 1 times 3. And in the bottom, 2 times 2. So my coefficients are done. All right? 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. All right? So the coefficients are taken care of. If you wanted, you could have multiplied 5 times 9 and got 45, and 6 times 10 and got 60, and then reduced 45 over 60 if you want. All right, looking at x's. I see 3 and 2, 5 x's up top. Do you see any in the bottom? No. So there's x to the 5th up top. Y's, I see 3 up top and 3 on the bottom. What happens?
Cancellation.
They're all gone, right? So no Y's anywhere in my answer. Because all 3 up top canceled out with all 3 in the bottom. What about the Z's? They cancel too. There's the same amount top and bottom, right? So my answer is this. Okay? So again, I do not have to factor because it's already in factored form basically, right? It's all multiplication. There's no addition or subtraction symbol. Number 6, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta remember in this one? Yeah, right, multiply by the reciprocal, right? So change this from division to multiplication and write the reciprocal of the second fraction. All right, looking at the coefficients, I see 5. Does it have a common factor with 3? Now, how about with 25?
Yes.
Yeah, right, 5 goes into 5, 5 goes into 25. We got 3 into 3, so the top for the coefficients is 1 times 1. And the bottom denominator is 1 times 5. All right? For the x's, I got 3 up top and 2 in the bottom. So what does that do? Gives me 1 in the top, right? We okay with that? For the y's, we've got 1 in the bottom, 9 up top, so that leaves me how many? 8 of them. There's my answer. So 5 and 6 that difficult? No. Any questions? Okay. All right, here we have another rational expression, fraction that we have to simplify first. What was the trick I told you last week about these? What did I tell you?
The denominator is one of the factors.
Yeah, the denominator is one of the factors. Okay? So, what's got to be in this front? X, right? And then what's negative 30 divided by negative 5? Positive 6. So I got to do. What happens to the x minus 5s? They cancel. Okay? So, x plus 6 equals 11 gives me x equals 5. Directions say, check your answer. What does that mean? Substitute it back in, right? And where do I really have to substitute back in? The bottom, right? When I put a 5 there, what's 5 minus 5? 0. Is that allowed? No, remember? Guys, that's not allowed. Okay? So, this is not a good answer. Therefore, there's no solution to that one. Okay? Any questions on those? All right. Turn your paper over and do this problem.
I got a nice corner too.
Leave your paper out. Put it back, put it away, put it away.
I'm looking for a good one.
Mr. Rodinger,
Yeah.
For the divide, like, you know how there's like the directly and the other one?
Inverse and joint.
Is
Yeah.
inverse is dividing?
Inverse is division, yes.
Okay, how would I put that up in a problem?
Bro, what do you do? No, I don't know. We're not looking up on YouTube.
Simplify this and give me the restrictions on the variable. Oops. This is minus 3x. So simplify that. Rational expression. And give me any x values for which the expression is undefined. What's restricted? Yeah, what's that? It's not allowed to be. What do you want? Negative one over. That's actual part.
Can't be no Batman, not be Robin.
Real.
I have a question.
I can't be no Batman.
Well, when you take the negative one out, it becomes x minus 54, right? Or the original, here's the original form. Right.
Which am I right?
Yeah, good job. Okay, most of you've got this.
I know.
You don't need this. I was trying to Okay, so we don't like the negative in front of an x or an x squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so pull out the negative one. So that makes it positive x and a negative 6, right? We're when you divide those by -1. Negative x divided by -1, positive x. Positive 6 divided by -1, -6, right? Okay. Factors of -18 that add up to -3 are -6 times a +3 gives you the -18, and -6 plus 3 gives you the -3. Since it's x squared, you know it's x times x, right? So now we have an x minus 6 in top and bottom that I can cancel. So -1's in the top, x plus 3's in the bottom. Now remember, you look at before you cancel, that's what you look at for the zeros in the denominator. So +6 makes that a 0, and -3 makes that parentheses 0, right? Okay. Let's try one more.
You wouldn't say.
Okay, multiply those two. You don't have to tell me restrictions.
Oh.
We'll be separate top and back.
Where are you at? I was at home. This dude.
On a Saturday night.
Is after for
What is this?
No, that's because it's not the person in the position in the. What are you talking about? What? What? No, clearly not, because I know what I'm doing.
See what you got.
I just crossed out so much stuff.
Didn't pass or first?
Do you have any plastic?
Oh, yeah.
You have a faster ever.
Yes, you do. All right, so look up here. You guys are doing pretty good. What's the first thing you try to do? Look for GCF. Any other GCFs up there? No. So, what is that thing called? Yeah, it's a binomial, good. It's a difference of squares. So the whole thing is this. Square root of x squared and the square root of 9, right? X times x is x squared. 3 times negative 3 is a negative 9, right? If you FOIL it, the middle 2 will cancel. Plus 3 and minus 3, they're gone.
How do you get direct?
Well, that has a 2, 18 has, and 2 have 2 going to it, and this has got x cubed and x, so x is in both, right? That's where the 2x came from. And 2x cubed divided by 2x is a 1x squared. And negative 18x divided by 2x is a negative 9. Regular trinomial here, negative 4 and a positive 2, right? Multiply negative 8, add negative 2. That's what? What is that again? Those are difference of squares, right? X plus 4, x minus 4. And then the last one, x plus 4 and x minus 3, right? 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, and 4 plus a negative 3 is positive 1. You see any common factors? So what's our answer?
2x parentheses x plus 3 over x plus 2.
Thank you.
That's what you should get when you're done. Factor first. Andrew. Factor first when you see pluses and minuses.
All right.
Doesn't matter. Is there gonna be inverses on the test?
I don't know.
Well, do you have any like practice problems for that?
I'm sure there's money out here. Look.
Okay.
Quick, just like, that's fine, just like that. You don't have to, you can leave it. I mean, if you did, it's okay, but you don't have
The
to.
one where it's like, what?
I mean, you don't have to, because I'll be
Oh,
well.
I know. He did it before. It was like where you gotta divide and then so you Like hard.
At least get paid to go there.
That's good.
You have volleyball for the season over.
No, I have the yeah.
So about until we get up.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what my last one is, though, I just know.
Probably.
Hey,
68 days.
hey,
These are the first two. Break.